The Handbook of Established Righteousness. Preface to the Handbook. As this handbook is being prepared for publication, the nations of the world are being judged by the Most High, Anokasi. National sovereignty is crumbling, being subjected to purposeful forces, bringing the world's population into chaos. It must be assumed that those who have sought out and obtained this volume have intentions to try to establish righteous communities. There will be many and various definitions of just what a righteous community will be like, and many good people will grope to find their way. At times like this, it will be important for the righteous to feel some control over their lives. Chaos naturally brings powerful feelings of vulnerability. For just about any kind of effort at building a community, there will be a unique focus for the pathway forward. Some will emphasize survival and try to prepare to preserve their worldly ways of life. For example, when there is no more electricity, they will have a generator. When there is no food to buy in the stores, they will have big supplies of freeze-dried rations. Many will desire strongly to be prepared to defend their things and provisions, even to the death, and fight fire with fire. Others will choose a different way, relying on the guidance of the Lord and trusting in Him. These will need to avoid being overcome in their chosen pathway by others who do not share their values. Contained in this book is important advice that has proven to bring stability in newly forming righteous communities. Each and every family must decide and put in place in their lives their chosen pathway forward in what values they are going to live by and how their resources will be used. And they must gravitate toward those of like persuasion. And at the same time, they must have mechanisms in place to ensure their values together cannot be overwhelmed and compromised. If each family follows the Lord's leadings and have their values set in place, other well-meaning people will not be able to come in and direct the lives of others in ways that feel like they threaten community cohesiveness. This is what we have found over the long years we have lived in the community. Anyone who lives on our property must live by our application of the Essene community rule and aspire to fully participate in the religion of Shabuah. The Lord has provided these resources for those who have chosen the ways of peace in the tumultuous times abroad. Seek the Lord's guidance for your pathway forward, because it is a holy process. Do it a step at a time, all together in your families, being led by the Holy Spirit. Study together, husband and wife. Start with foundational values and hear the personal counsel of the Lord in the little book of John will be essential. Start with something like that and watch carefully for the witness of the Spirit in what you study. For us, the community rule means that we do not have swearing, disrespectful exchanges, arguing, or contention in the community. That alone is a monumental achievement. The religion of Shabuah brings the stability of a supportive culture that constantly, day by day, supports the values the Lord has urged us to follow and have implanted in our lives. You have to clearly identify values together arising in common among all the participating families, and those values must be insisted upon gently, firmly, respectfully, and with continuity and confidence. It is common for the adversary to put forward the accusation that it is unfair or unjust for you to require of others the path you have chosen together. But it is a big world out there, and they can find others of like mind with them to form a community if they wish. So do not be intimidated into abandoning your leadings from the Lord. Your first and foremost responsibility is to Him. As a righteous community, you belong to Him. It is His right to have you, and it is your right to have Him. He has provided you with the resources and understanding of the truth and the spiritual power left to you by His lovely grace for you to belong to Him. Your children are His future. His future will be the crown of your inheritance in heaven. This concludes the preface of the Handbook of Established Righteousness. Thank you for listening. Shalom.